All you multi-talented, multitasking, multi-everything people out there. Take it away.
Find your glory, write your story, fearless feet will carry you. Time you own it, take your moment, be a fire burning through. Hustling from night until morning, grinding it out, it won't be long. Feel your power, it's your hour, you inspire, you are strong.
Enjoy your Zola. No applause? You're all fired.
Now that you've reached the stage in your life where quality television is important, Nubian TV is a black network that speaks to your lifestyle. Nubian TV is the world's first digital network devoted to the upscale and political lifestyles of black people. Nubian TV's programming includes politics, travel, fashion, food, automotive, arts and culture, civil rights, music, and more. Watch now on Amazon Fire TV, Roku, or watch globally at nubiantv.net. Nubian TV, it's what you want to watch.
Come with me if you want to live a more delicious life.
Oh, maybe we should get in the van.
In this world, we don't get to control much. The past, male pattern baldness.
Leggies.
Got one right now. The urge to pop that bubble wrap. But there is one thing we do get to choose every single day: what we eat. Welcome to the Sonic Department of Research and Deliciousment. We have everything you want, didn't know you wanted, and some things you didn't know were possible. Because we believe if you're not having fun, you're not living free. So come on, let's live a little.
Hey, good morning, America. Good morning, America.
Good morning, America.
Good morning, America.
Money! Are you ready? They are ready. Covering the biggest events in the country right now.
There's a lot going on here this morning.
It's always a good time. That's what the show's about.
That's good.
Really good. Very good.
Coming in hot, Jimmy, coming in hot.
It's far from elementary.
Oh, good morning, America. I'm not going to try to strut like Michael or anything.
I have known George a long, long time.
Have you ever gotten him to dance?
Look at that face.
You don't just see it, you feel it.
I'm in.
I'm in. I'm in.
I'm in too.
I'll be here.
I am here and so happy.
I'm in.
I'm in too.
I'm in. That tells you something when Snoop Dogg's in. Michael, George, where? Ginger.
Good evening. My name is Mark Woodbury. I'm the chairman and CEO of Universal Destinations and Experiences. Well, we're finally here. Tomorrow we begin a new chapter at Universal Orlando Resort as we open Epic Universe. We built this place for you. I want to thank you, our fans, for your love of our stories, characters, and immersive experiences that inspired this incredible place. Epic Universe represents over 8 years of meticulous planning, immense creativity, and innovation, combined with unmatched craftsmanship and operational excellence on the part of thousands of people who have brought to life the stories and characters that live beyond each of Epic's portals. But it represents so much more. Your love of Universal and the deep connections we've shared together here in Orlando over the past 30 years inspired us to dream bigger and to push the boundaries to create something extraordinary for you and for generations of fans and families to come. And tomorrow, as we open Epic Universe, I can't wait for you to experience this place for yourself. Now it's your turn to step inside, to lose yourself, and to share this place with the ones you love most. As we open this park, we hope your world becomes a little more epic. Tomorrow, Epic Universe becomes yours.
Prepare for a journey beyond imagination, beyond belief, beyond anything you've experienced before. Universal Epic Universe, a new theme park where you'll step through extraordinary portals to 5 immersive worlds. Prepare for a cosmic voyage of discovery, an isle of fire-breathing excitement, a shadowy world of monsters and mystery, new wonders in the wizarding world, and a new way to play. Plus the splendor of a magnificent resort hotel overlooking the park. It's all new excitement at Universal Orlando Resort. A week's worth of vacation thrills with 4 amazing theme parks, a variety of spectacular themed hotels, and incredible dining and entertainment. It's all at Universal Orlando Resort, where you'll find new adventures every day. Explore the astonishing worlds of Universal Epic Universe at Universal Orlando Resort.
Well, hello to you, man. Good morning to all of you. Happy Memorial Day to you. I hope that all of you have a wonderful Memorial Day. Thank you to our fallen soldiers, our active military, Army, and Air Force, and to everybody who wants to serve, and to the families and friends that have supported these amazing, legendary legends. I don't call them heroes because heroes are temporary. Legends are permanent for sure. So thank you all so much. Happy Memorial Day to you. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I thought it was 10 destinations, but either way, jam-packed show per usual. We're going to talk about Epic Universe, give you some updates on that. The FCC has something to say about all these DEI investigations. Y'all, Diddy is not in court today. He wasn't on court on Friday or today for the Memorial Day weekend. So day 10 will be happening tomorrow. I was just on a show last night. We'll probably show that show maybe Tuesday night. But wait till y'all hear the story about Diddy. Just to give you something in the meantime, between time. We're going to talk about Pastor John Gray because he said something out the way that I want to tell y'all about. The brain chip thing is real. We're going to talk about it. Yes. The retail industry is going through because of these tariffs. And the penny might be gone from U.S. currency, but don't worry because the White House is getting rid of the president. Wait till you hear how. PCH, Publishers Clearinghouse, is in trouble. And finally, MomoCon, one of the biggest geek cons in the world, celebrating over 20 years of existence. Higher is weighing, low is available. But either way, we are live on tour. Let me take down this kind of intro there. You see the virtual tour background? Yes, you do. You hear that virtual tour music? Yes, you do. And one thing to know, 2 things for sure. Over here on this channel, a lot happens early. Rolling.
It's a new morning for America's family. Sun's coming up, so make it all that it can be. You know a lot happens early.
I'm Harry Smith. I'm Julie Chen. I'm Maggie Rodriguez.
Morning everywhere. Come on, get up.
I'm Russ Mitchell.
And I'm Dave Price. And it's a little early for this.
Now this it's a new morning for America's family. Sun's coming up, so make it all that it can be. You know a lot happens early. Every day's good when you're starting it out right. But whatever happens in the daylight, a lot happens early. Can you feel it when I say?
Good morning, everybody. Are you girls ready for the Jonas Brothers?
We have an early show exclusive. Yes.
A lot happens early.
A lot happens early.
The Early Show, weekday mornings on CBS.
It's a new morning.
Yes, it is Julie Chen Moonves. It is a new morning to Russ Mitchell, Dave Price, Harry Smith, Maggie Rodriguez. You're right on this channel. A lot happens early. Good morning, everybody. Let's get to the game doing what we do. We have a lot to get to for sure. So with that being said, here we go. From the Howard Report, inside NBC Universal's epic theme park kickoff with Steven Spielberg stars and plenty of intellectual property, the company opened its Epic Universe theme park in Orlando Thursday after a star-studded party Wednesday evening. If you were here on our channel, we covered it live that Wednesday, and then Thursday morning we covered opening day. Yes, indeed. NBC Universal lit up the skies above Orlando on Wednesday and defied gravity. What? Listen, I had to get a Wicked reference in here somehow. With fireworks, flames, motors, and drones, in what called in understated fashion, a celebratory moment for the grand opening of this newest multi-billion-dollar epic universe. But first, it had to trot out Steven Spielberg. The visionary director was not in attendance, but his voice did boom through the park. But as a good friend and creative consultant to Universal's Experiences business, to quote Universal Destinations and Experiences chairman and CEO Mark Woodbury, his presence was felt, particularly in the land based on the How to Train Your Dragon franchise, which is from Spielberg's DreamWorks. In each of us lies a desire to explore new worlds in search of adventures, joy, discovery, and even to face our fears, Spielberg's voice said, as a Bellagio-esque fountain elegantly shot water high into the sky. Through amazing stories and unforgettable characters, we are introduced to incredible worlds we only dare to imagine. And in the process of discovery, we discover the hero in ourselves. Universal Epic Universe has brought those worlds to life. The theme park, which officially opened to the public Thursday, it had been hosting paid previews for a couple of months, boasts 4 immersive lands. It's actually 5, but I get why they said 4. Surrounding a central green area called Celestial Park. How to Train Your Dragon's Owl Burke is one, as is a third Harry Potter world with the Ministry of Magic set in a 1920s Paris setting. Super Nintendo world based on the video game giants' legendary intellectual property, including for the first time in the United States, a Donkey Kong section, and Dark Universe based on Universal's stable of iconic monsters like Frankenstein, Dracula, and the Mummy. Visitors to each land pass through a portal before entering the heavily themed areas filled with shops, restaurants, rides, characters, and attractions. So this is CEO Brian Roberts here, I think. Chief Donna Langley here, and then President Mike Kavanaugh right here. So those are the heads at Team Comcast there. It's taken us probably a decade to be at this moment, said Brian Roberts, the chairman and CEO of Comcast, speaking to reporters a few hours before the opening celebration. It's astonishing the coordination of that team to come out of Beijing, where the company had just built a theme park in the middle of COVID, and to do this here, where there's never been something quite like it in the world. It's a very proud moment. At the opening celebration Wednesday, Comcast executives, including Roberts, Woodbury, Mike Kavanaugh, and Donna Langley, joined executives from partner companies like Warner Bros. Discovery and Nintendo. Mario creator and video game legend Shigeru Miyamoto was there, but was not interviewed during the grand opening celebration live stream on Universal Orlando's YouTube channel. I will never forgive that waste of a hosting team for that. Okay. As well as star talent, in addition to many other things that they sucked at, but that's neither here nor there. As well as star talent like the cast of the upcoming live action How to Train Your Dragon, Gerard Butler, Stoic the Vast, Madsen Thames, Hiccup, and Nico Parker. Harry Potter franchises stars like James Alfred Phelps, Fred and George Winsley, Warwick Davis, Professor Flitwick, and others like WWE star Cody Rhodes, Saturday Night Live Bowen Yang, who's also from Wicked, who are along for the ride. The company turned it into an entertainment event, streaming the proceedings live on its social and digital platforms. Epic Universe is NBC Universal's biggest bet yet on live experiences, a multi-billion-dollar push into a side of the entertainment business that has high costs but can deliver outsized returns, not only in revenue but in what one tops experiences executives describe as the soft power world. The park has been years in the making, as Roberts noted. First announced publicly in 2019, the park has been in development for years before then. Our new park represents the single largest investment Comcast, NBC Universal has made in its theme park business and Florida overall, Roberts said at the time. It reflects the tremendous excitement we have for the future of our theme park business and our entire company's future in Florida. And there is the fireworks there. That was during the Mario section there. The park's role in Florida's larger economy was underscored by the presence of Governor Ron DeSantis, who was spotted walking through the park Wednesday evening. While Disney has long been the dominant force in theme parks and live experiences, Comcast has responded like the Velociraptors in Jurassic Park, quietly learning how to take advantage of the experiential business it acquired with NBC Universal in 2011. Epic Universe is the culmination of these learnings. The original Universal Studios Florida mimicked a Hollywood backlot with sound stages and faux New York streets. By the way, they still have the sound stages, just in case you did not know. Nickelodeon Studios, which was actually a part of Universal Studios Florida, was very pivotal, right? Because it was where you could take your if you were a family on vacation, then you as a kid could go to Nickelodeon Studios and be on the kids network. Unfortunately, it is no longer there. The last thing that was there was the Blue Man Group. And then, of course, Disney MGM Studios had 2 sound stages. I think it was the new Mickey Mouse Club, a couple of movies, the new Win, Lose, or Draw. I think that was about it, if I'm not mistaken. No quote me. And then there was like a Radio Disney booth because Radio Disney DJs broadcasted live from Disney World. But that's neither here nor there. Islands of Adventure created themed areas based on characters from Marvel Comics and a deal that predated Disney's acquisition of the comic company, Jurassic Park, and Dr. Seuss. Roberts noted that when they acquired NBC Universal, the theme parks are not doing great in that moment. Still reeling from the global financial crisis a few years earlier, the company had begun to sell off parcels of land that it owned, and then it struck gold with Harry Potter. Universal's Harry Potter lands changed the course of the company's experiences business and led to the creation of Epic. The company recreated Hogsmeade in Island of Adventure, transporting visitors to Hogwarts Castle with immersive shops, restaurants, and rides. It sequentially built Diagon Alley and Universal Studios, recreating another part of the Harry Potter universe. The reaction to the Harry Potter land surpassed the company's expectations, sparking Epic Universe in its 4 fully immersive lands, as well as Celestial Park, the central land that sparked space, age, and Park Greek mythology. In fact, Universal has created entirely mythology and backstory to Celestial Park, including characters and story arcs that visitors may be able to discover during their visit. It started with the idea, how do we continue to grow our Orlando business, and the realization that in order to do that, we need another park to garner a week's vacation. To make this destination a choice for people on their Orlando vacation trips, Woodbury says. New theme parks don't open very often, and Epic Universe is the biggest new park to open in the United States since Disney's California Adventure back in 2001. The hype is real, but as always with experiential worlds, the real challenge will come years down the line, ensuring that the destinations become the must visit that Woodbury envisions. The characters, the intellectual property, and worlds are in many ways the key to that puzzle. As the grand opening to the opening celebration underscored. As the Fowl Show continued and the fireworks illuminated the sky above the Grand Helios Hotel adjacent to the park, a swarm of drones spelled out the word Epic above Celestial Park and behind them. Now, I thought that it was the portal, the Chronos behind them, but as we see here, finally Universal Studios fanfare playing as the drones formed a semicircle above the hotel, mimicking in some ways the familiar spinning globe that opens every Universal film. I didn't see that because I thought this was like the Chronos here, but hey, that's what this article is saying. As the fanfare ended, the lights darkened, the company prepared for Epic Universe's first world test, opening the doors to its paid guests that's seeking the adventures that Spielberg promised. So, like I said, I was there for the 5-hour celebration here on YouTube. It was an epically good time. Like I said, I do wish the host actually went into the portals live. I wish they would ate the food live. I wish they would have done more giveaways. There was so much more that they could have done. And the fact that this was not broadcasted on NBC, was a waste of time, to be honest with you. There is no way that, as the chairman of NBC, that we're not going to put this on our network. In addition to that, I don't even know if they broadcasted the opening day celebration during the 8 o'clock hour of the Today Show. Now, the Today Show was live on the ground, to cover Epic Universe, but I will also tell you another reason why they were there, because they have the Today Cafe at Universal Orlando Resort. Now, personally, to me, I would think it would make the most sense to have a producer from the Today Show, right? That's always wanted to be on TV, this, that, and the third, like Sarah Haynes was with Kathleen and Hoda, to move down to Orlando and broadcast live every morning from the Today Cafe at Universal Orlando Resort, and then that becomes part of the Today Show. Just saying, not like NBC Universal needs any more money, but there you go. But more happened on opening day. Now I saw this from a lot of content creators right here. This is from Universal Orlando fan. Epic Universe's opening day, a grand entrance and a ghost town. This isn't what we were expecting at all. As you can see there. Universal Epic Universe opened its gates that on May 22nd, 2025, ushering in a new era of theme park entertainment. Last night's live streamed grand opening festivities featured many celebrity guests and Universal's creative minds behind the theme park masterpiece. Captain speech from CEO Mark Woodbury and creative consultant Steven Spielberg right before the celebratory fireworks. And those were the fireworks, y'all, right there. Today's smaller opening day celebrations for the general public featured lively mini ceremonies at each of the 5 immersive portals. The excitement was palpable as guests streamed into the park, eager to explore each of the portals. Guests were held at each of the portals at Celestial Park before the 9 a.m. opening. So here it is right here. The Ministry of Magic portal there. As one will expect, the crowd around the entrance for Wizard World Harry Potter Ministry of Magic was massive, but yet still seemed less chaotic than we anticipated for opening day. So all those people were right here, ready to go in for the first time. Crowds that vanished. As the day progressed, the initial hustle and bustle gave way to an unexpected calm. By midday, many of the areas of the park were nearly empty, with walk-on times for most attractions. So as you can see here, that is Princess Peach's castle there at Super Nintendo World, or Super Nintendo World. And then here is Donkey Kong Country there with Minecart Madness there in the background there. The phenomenon was particularly surprising, given it being the park's grand opening and the anticipation surrounding it. Guests found themselves enjoying the attractions and dining locales without the usual long waits, making for a relaxed and enjoyable experience. That's Constellation Carousel there. That is Frankenstein's Castle for Monsters Unchained. Yes, indeed. There. Then, of course, this is Super Nintendo World. You'll come out here, and this is the home of the Mario and Luigi meet and greet as well there. Excluding Bow the Ministry, more on that below. The longest attraction waits throughout the day were between 25 and 35 minutes for Mario Kart or Donkey Kong. No express passes necessary. So 20-minute wait for the Monsters Unchained, the Frankenstein Experiment. Delayed. Harry Potter and the Bow at the Ministry, Curse of the Werewolf, 20-minute wait. Hiccups Wing Gliders, 5-minute wait. Minecart Mats, 10-minute wait, and then Stardust Racers, 15-minute wait. Here's a shot of Epic's parking lot around noon that day by BioReconstruct. By the way, shout out to BioReconstruct and Theme Park Stop for their great coverage. I just want to give them that love there. They've been doing a great job and have done a great job. Aerial look at guest parking at about noon on grand opening day of Epic Universe. Universal is holding back ticket sales to find out how many guests use the park. Park today is mostly Universal Resort guests, 11 hotels. Easier to fix problems now. day guest ticket sales layer. So here is the parking lot right here. So as you can see, not really a lot of cars here, but a good portion here. I think these are solar panels, if I'm not mistaken. And then there's Epic Universe right over there. And I think that this is an extension pad, maybe. I could be wrong. I think this is some construction here, the construction site here for the construction crew. I could be wrong. Believe it or not, the longest queue I waited in thus far was for a complimentary art postcard at Celestial Park. I added my name to a list, which was approximately 50 minutes worth away. I ended up enjoying Monsters Unchained at a complete walk-on around 11 a.m. before returning for my portrait. Wow. So there it is there. Oh my God. Can you imagine being a kid and you getting that? Oh my Lord Jesus. I mean, like I said, all I can do is stick people. So well done to that artist who did that there. Bow at the Ministry, a not so magical experience. The one exception to this trend was the highly anticipated Harry Potter and the Bow at the Ministry attraction. Despite the park's overall light crowds, this attraction skyrocketed to a crisp 4-hour wait shortly after 9 a.m. Yeah, it was like a 300-minute wait, so about 5 hours. Unfortunately, the ride had extended closure from around 9:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. While some guests who waited in the queue for 2+ hours were provided re-ride passes, this left a massive strain on the attraction's capacity for the day, resulting in being disappointed guests. The attraction's technical issues prevented it from operating at full capacity. Contrasting sharply with the mostly seamless experiences offered by other rides. Monsters Unchained, the Frankenstein experiment, also experienced a brief delay at opening, but was up and running strong after approximately 10:30 a.m. So there's the home of Monsters Unchained in Dogmore. Final thoughts. While the opening day of Epic Universe was marked by an initial surge of excitement, followed by an usually quiet mid-morning and afternoon into the evening, Epic's exciting new areas with low crowds offered a leisurely, memorable experience for those that attended. Despite the challenges faced at the Bow at the Ministry, the overall vibe was a lot more relaxing than we initially thought for Orlando's newest theme park. Perhaps Universal capped the attendance, anticipating low capacity due to extended attraction closures, or maybe some guests moved their initial opening day plans to a cooler weather time frame after already experiencing the park during previews. Either way, May 22nd was a lot more enjoyable than anticipated. We cannot wait to return and make more memories at Epic Universe to the stars. And that's what I have seen from a lot of people, that they're going to wait maybe until October, November, Thanksgiving, Halloween, of course, because during that time the kids will be back in school and everything else, and so not too surprising there. And then right here, from inside the magic, Epic Universe issues refunds due to small crowds just days after grand opening. This week, Universal Orlando Resort officially opened its highly anticipated new theme park, Epic Universe, and fans cannot wait to experience the latest addition to the resort. The park, which boasts immersive themed lands and cutting-edge attractions, that generate significant buzz in the lead up to its grand opening. However, to the surprise of many, visitors are reporting far fewer crowds than expected. In what some are calling an unexpected twist, one visitor shared their experience on social media, revealing they were refunded for their guest pass, a service meant to help guests skip long lines for attractions. The guest posted, "It actually is so dead at Epic that I got my express pass refunded. This is amazing." For many fans, express passes are a vital part of making the most out of a theme park day, allowing visitors to bypass long waits for popular attractions. It's common for these passes to be in high demand, particularly during peak times when the park is packed with visitors. However, the situation at Epic Universe seems to have been quite the opposite, with lower than expected crowds, allowing some guests to skip the need for these premium services entirely. And there is Toothless, who you will get to meet in person along with Hiccup at Isle of Burke. Yes, indeed, there. A surprising opening week Epic Universe debut was met with excitement, with long lines expected for some of the park's flagship attractions. The park features innovative rides and experience that showcase Universal's investment in new technology and immersive storytelling. Despite the anticipation, some guests have reported experiencing unexpected light crowds throughout the week. This has led to speculation on social media, with many wondering whether the slower than expected turnout is a sign of post-opening lull or simply a reflection of the park's efficient crowd management. The news of Express Pass refunds has added fuel to the fire, with some guests sharing their own experiences of visiting the park with minimal wait times, while some assume the theme park would be overcrowded in its early days. The reality has left many pleasantly surprised by lack of congestion. That was the concept art for and this was originally called Star Fall Racers, but it was an intellectual property dispute with that, so it then became Stardust Racers. What's behind the low crowds? Several factors could be contributing to the live crowds at Epic Universe, particularly in the days following the park's grand opening, the ongoing uncertainties in the travel tourism industry, shifting visitor trends, perhaps even the recent surge of interest in more established attractions across Universal's other parks could all play a role. While it's unclear whether the live crowds will be a long-term trend or a short-term anomaly, it's safe to say that Universal Land Resort will keep a close eye on guest attendance data or data over the next few months. The park's success will hinge on maintaining strong interest and a steady stream of visitors, especially as word of mouth spreads and more guests plan future trips to experience the new park. As of now, Epic Universe's opening week appears to be a success, with fans enjoying the park's attractions without the usual stress of overcrowding. The surprise of low crowds, along with refunds for premium services like the Express Pass, suggests that Universal may be adjusting its crowd control strategies for future events or holidays to ensure a balanced and enjoyable experience for everyone. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. I would have thought at least maybe 30,000 people, but they said it was like around 13,000, 15,000 people. But I kind of like that because, like they're saying, you don't have to, fight in line or anything like that. And I think as time, goes on, I think the park will get to where it needs to be. All right, y'all. Speaking of getting things to where they need to be, this comes to us from TV Tech here. Federal Communication Commission's Gomez court ruling means agency has no right to crack down on diversity, equity, and inclusion. This came out on May 21st, 2025. Regulators push to eliminate policies at companies like Verizon, Disney, and Comcast. It's a dangerous form of speech policing, she says. Let's see here. Citing a rule from this comes to us from Washington here. Citing a ruling from the 5th United States Circuit Court of Appeals, Democratic Federal Communications Commission member Ana Gomez is arguing that the regulator has no right to pressure companies to eliminate diversity, equity, and inclusion programs. The 5th Circuit on May 19th ruled that the FCC does not have the authority to collect race, sex, and ethnic data on Form 395B. The agency had collected that data between 1970 and 2001. The practice was restored near the end of the Biden administration for broadcasters, but the data was not collected. Reacting to the ruling, Gomez issued a statement saying it's a shame the court struck down reasonable transparency measures designed to shed light on the media market, but its broader message was unmistakable. The current FCC has no right to weaponize its authority against unlawful merit-based hiring decisions by private companies or targeting them because they use terms like diversity, equity, and inclusion. FCC Chair Brendan Carr eliminated DEI programs at the agency and has made the elimination of such programs one of its top priorities, launching a series of investigations that will significantly expand the FCC regulation over the private workforces of media and telecommunications companies. As a part of that push, the FCC has launched investigations into the DEI practices of the Walt Disney Company, Comcast, and Verizon Communications, and has used regulatory power to gain significant concessions from these companies. Earlier this year, Disney and PBS agreed to end their DEI programs, while Verizon agreed to end its DEI efforts to win FCC approval for its $20 billion takeover of Frontier Communications. Echoing sentiments expressed by other critics of the agency, including a number of former FCC commissioners, Gomez argued that the DEI crackdown was really about silencing media critics of the 47 administration. Yep, pretty much. The FCC's ideological crusade has never been about fairness. It's about control, she says. It's a new dangerous form of speech policing that has no place in a free society. We must continue to defend the First Amendment from those who use it as a weapon against the very freedoms it protects. And shout out to the sister right here, Ana Gomez, because she is absolutely right. These DEI investigations are just a bunch of crock. That's all it is. If you're not on the side of the 47 administration, you are an enemy, and they don't like anybody who does not agree with them. That's pretty much all it is. But one company that is defying the FCC and the 47 administration, from rollingout.com, celebrating 25 years of being a platform, rolling on to the next 25 is AT&T. Defies federal pressure on diversity. Right here, telecommunications leader maintains commitment to workplace inclusion while competitors retreat. AT&T has emerged as a prominent voice of resistance against mounting federal pressure to scale back diversity, equity, inclusion initiatives across corporate America. While other telecommunications companies have yielded to government demands, the Dallas-based giant is doubling down on its commitment to fostering an inclusive workplace environment. The company's steadfast positions contrast sharply recent industry trends, particularly following Verizon's decision to modify its diversity policies as part of regulatory negotiations surrounding its $20 billion acquisition of Frontier Communications. The move by Verizon came amid intense scrutiny from the Federal Communications Commission under the current administration's directives. AT&T's philosophical foundation. At the heart of AT&T's approach lies a fundamental belief in merit-based advancement coupled with inclusive opportunity creation. Chief Executive John Stankey has positioned the company as one that prioritizes individual capability while ensuring equal access to career development opportunities for all employees regardless of background. The telecommunications leader has consistently maintained that its policies have always centered on merit-based progression, with the company providing pathways for skill development and career advancement to every employee who joins the organization. This approach, according to company leadership, creates an environment where success is earned through performance while barriers to opportunity are systematically removed. The company's commitment extends beyond mere policy statements to practical implementation across all levels of the organization. AT&T has invested significantly in training programs, mentorship opportunities, and leadership development initiatives designed to ensure that talented individuals from all backgrounds can thrive within the corporate structure. Strategic business alignment. Despite the political climate surrounding diversity initiatives, AT&T continues to pursue ambitious business expansion plans that align with broader economic objectives. The company's $5.75 billion acquisition of Lumen Technologies represents a significant investment in expanding America's fiber optic infrastructure, a move that supports job creation goals championed by the current administration. This strategic positioning allows AT&T to maintain its diversity commitments while demonstrating alignment with federal priorities around economic growth and employment. The fiber network expansion is expected to create thousands of jobs across multiple states, providing tangible evidence of the company's contribution to American economic development. The acquisition positions AT&T to compete more effectively in the rapidly evolving telecommunications landscape, where high-speed internet access has become increasingly critical for both consumers and businesses. By expanding its fiber footprint, the company can better serve rural and underserved communities while strengthening its competitive positions against rivals. Leadership, diversity, legacy. AT&T's commitment is reflected in its executive leadership structure, which has historically included prominent figures from underrepresented communities. The company has maintained a track record of promoting diverse talent to senior positions, creating visible role models for emerging leaders throughout the organization. Telecommunications Giant's approach to diversity extends beyond simple representation to meaningful inclusion in decision-making processes. Senior executives from diverse backgrounds have played crucial roles in shaping company strategy, product development, and market expansion initiatives. This leadership diversity has contributed to AT&T's ability to better understand and serve its customer base, which reflects the demographic diversity of America itself. By ensuring that leadership teams include voices from various backgrounds, the company can make more informed decisions about product offerings, marketing strategies, and community engagement initiatives. Industry recognition and initiatives. AT&T's diversity efforts have garnered attention both within the telecommunications sector and across the broader business community. The company has received numerous awards for its workplace inclusion practices and has been featured as a model for other organizations seeking to build more diverse corporate cultures. The company's annual Black History Month digital calendar represents one of the longest running corporate diversity initiatives in the telecommunications industry. Now in its 32nd edition, the calendar both serves as an educational tool and a symbol of the company's ongoing commitment to celebrate diverse contributions to American society. These recognition programs extend throughout the year, with AT&T hosting various events and initiatives designed to highlight the achievements of employees from all backgrounds. The company has created employee resource groups that provide networking opportunities, professional development, and mentorship for underrepresented workers. Okay, we're almost there. Future outlook. As federal scrutiny of corporate diversity programs continues, AT&T's position represents a significant test case for how major corporations can maintain inclusive workplace policies while navigating political pressures. The company's approach suggests that businesses can successfully balance diversity commitments for operational excellence and regulatory compliance. The telecommunications industry's evolution toward greater digital connectivity makes workforce diversity increasingly important for innovation and market success. AT&T's stance indicates confidence that inclusive hiring and advancement practices will continue to drive business results even as political winds shift. Moving forward, AT&T's experience may serve as a blueprint for other companies facing similar pressures. By maintaining focus on merit-based advancement while ensuring equal opportunity access, the company demonstrates that diversity and excellence can coexist effectively in corporate environments. The company's continued investment in infrastructure expansion and job creation provides additional evidence that diversity-focused companies can contribute meaningfully to broader economic objectives while maintaining their commitment to inclusive workplace practices. I was about to say, AT&T has this thing that I want to show y'all. And by the way, shout out to AT&T for always making it do what it do. I had a opportunity with Junior Advancement to be a part of their AT&T program in Little Rock, Arkansas. And that was a great experience. It's truly sad that, people, these companies, these corporate companies are allowing their companies to be ran by a dictator who puts the dick in dictator. Okay. It's a damn shame. As you guys may or may not know, they have the AT&T Dream in Black program. They have the Dream in Black honorees here. And so what they have done was they have honored these dreamers with $5,000 to be able to go toward their dreams. And here are some of the honorees here. And then they have the Rising Future Makers, and they have done so much. They even have a brand activation at the Essence Festival of Culture. So they have definitely done their thing here. So as you can see here, all of these wonderful people are not only promoted through AT&T, but they're also invested in it as well. You can see AT&T is a proud partner with 4 HBCU athletic departments as well. And then, of course, right here, as you can see, Rising Future, let's see here. Rising Future Maker Showcase right here, $5,000 that they have given away to future makers. So, like I said, shout out to AT&T, always making it do what it do for us. And we need to support these companies that are standing up for DEI. So, y'all, we got to go from Black excellence to Black disgrace. Yeah, we got to talk about Diddy, y'all. From People Magazine, People.com, Sean Diddy Combs' ex-employees testify about his odd food demands, including applesauce on cheeseburgers. Y'all, I'm not joking. I literally saw this and DM'd it to myself on Messenger. I'm like, oh no, we're talking about this. The mogul's ex-employee George Kaplan described how he used a black Amex card to buy luxury items as well as interesting food items. You see how Diddy's looking at the cheeseburger? Now on the thumbnail, right? Diddy is looking at Pastor John Gray like, what the hell's going on? Wait till you hear what Pastor John Gray had to say, okay? But we're going to take a commercial break after this. So we can all prepare for what Pastor John Gray has to say. But let's roll on. Need to know, Sean Diddy Combs requested that his assistants bring a very specific and unusual list of food items he required for traveling, former employees said during the rapper's trial. The mogul and his team used a black Amex card to buy luxury items as well as food items such as applesauce for his hamburgers and ketchup for traveling abroad. Yeah. Combs currently faces charges including sex trafficking, racketeering, and transportation to engage in prostitution. Sean Diddy Combs had a very specific and unusual list of food items he required for his travels around the world, according to his former employees. While testifying at Combs' sex trafficking trial on Thursday, May 22nd, ex-employee George Kaplan described how the rapper and his team used a black Amex credit card to cover everything Combs requested from baby oil to yacht rentals, luxury villas. When defense lawyer Mark Effelio questioned if those items included applesauce, Kaplan explained Mr. Combs loved applesauce, so he eats it on the side or on top of a lot of things. Was this Mott's applesauce? Was there a specific type of applesauce? I'm just asking a question. Was it Dole applesauce? I don't think Welch's makes an applesauce. They probably do though, because I mean, make a dollar to holler. You know what I mean? It's, oh my Lord. Cheeseburgers. FNL asked to which Kaplan responded, cheeseburgers being one of them. Combs is also obsessed with ketchup. David James, who was an assistant to the music mogul from 2007 to 2009, previously testified on Tuesday, May 20th. Ketchup was a big item that he always needed for his food. It was just the consistency to create a consistent environment for wherever he was. James testified. He claimed that when they flew to the UK, he always brought Heinz ketchup because the tomato sauce did meet Combs' standards. James also said he regularly packed applesauce, detailing that it was a favorite food item for Combs. During the trial, Felio asked James, "Were you aware that he put applesauce on his cheeseburgers?" He replied, "I was not aware, but I knew that he liked applesauce." Combs' former employee. Can you imagine you going to law school for all these years just so you could ask the question, were you aware that he put applesauce on his cheeseburgers though? Hilarious. Combs' former employees have testified about these unusual details as prosecutors attempt to learn more about the rapper's alleged sex trafficking, racketeering, and other charges, including transportation to engage in prostitution. Federal agents found a number of noteworthy items during 2024 raid of Combs' $48 million Miami mansion that the musician allegedly owned, including AR-15 style rifles, some with their serial numbers scratched off, as well as loaded magazines, drugs as MDMA and Xanax, sex toys and lingerie, and 25 bottles of Johnson's baby oil, as well as one rubber duck. Rubber ducky, you're the one. Combs' trial began on May 12th after he was initially arrested in September 2024. He has denied all of the allegations against him and has pleaded not guilty to all criminal charges. So far, jurors have heard from former employees Kaplan and James, his former girlfriend Cassandra Ventura, and her mother, a makeup artist, and Kid Cudi. And also, too, I think I'm trying to think. There was a former best friend of Cassie's. I think that was also part of the trial as well. The trial is expected to last several weeks, and Judge Arsurian recently confirmed that the trial will most likely conclude before July 4th or on July 4th. Now, the trial is supposed to last 8 to 10 weeks, but as you guys know, because we covered it here on Brainless Virtual Live, July 4th is the first day of the Essence Festival of Culture. So whatever the verdict is, that will be the talk at the Essence Festival of Culture for sure. Combs is currently being held without bail at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn. If convicted on all counts, he faces a potential life sentence. If you or someone you know has been sexually assaulted, please contact the sexual assault hotline at 1-800-656-HOPE. That's 1-800-656-HOPE. That's 1-800-656-4673. That's 1-800-656-4673. That's 1-800-656-4673. Or go to rain.org. That's RAINN.org. Child, applesauce on cheeseburgers. You know, they got, savory bacon that you can do that on. They got bacon jam. Anyway, we're going to take a little commercial break. And when we come back, y'all wait till y'all hear, about Pastor John Gray. Child, I can't. We'll talk about that. Brain chip, a chip going to your brain. That's happening. The retail industry at large, the penny, the 1 cent copper penny might be going away. Wait till you hear about that. And also, too, Publishers Clearinghouse and MomoCon. All that and more. We are live on tour. Like, comment, share, subscribe. We'll be back right after this. Roll it.
Beyond this gate, find gardens green and epic worlds to fill your dreams. Here you leave today and enter a world of
A world of princesses. A world of villains. And heroes.
Raise your sabers.
A world of other worlds.
A world of all the favorites. A world of throwbacks.
A world of
for whatever you love. Infinite worlds await.
You to take the COVID-19 vaccine to help keep you and your loved ones safe. Involved in our community, the People Station, Power 923 Jams, KIPR Pine Bluff, Little Rock, KFOG Little Rock, a Cumulus media station. And now, back to the jams. Hip Hop. Drake.
Girls want girls where I'm from. Yeah, well, girls want girls where
R&B. J. Howell.
Just 'cause I love you and you love me.
And now, bumping back-to-back continuous music with another fresh new jam. Heard here first on the People Station, Power 923 Jams.
Welcome to Universal's Volcano Bay. A new wave of theme park. A new kind of paradise. Here, time doesn't fly. It simply floats by. And when it's your time to ride, you go right to the slide. Yep, paradise works in amazing ways. You're welcome. Volcano Bay. One of 3 amazing theme parks at Universal Orlando Resort.
I'm loving it. Love y'all right back. Welcome back into Brainley's Virtual Tour Live. Glad to have all you here in the building with me. We talked about Universal's Epic Universe at the top of the show, giving you some updates inside that grand opening celebration, which wasn't too much on YouTube. I could have done a better job by my damn self live on NBC and streaming live on Peacock and on YouTube. But that's neither here nor there. And then some people got refunded their Express Pass. Then we talked about the FCC commissioner. Or one of the members of the FCC, FCC Commissioner Ana Gomez said that the regulator has no right to pressure companies to eliminate diversity, equity, and inclusion programs. So there was a ruling from the 5th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals letting the FCC know they have no right to pressure companies to eliminate diversity, equity, and inclusion programs. Now, what will the commissioner do? Brendan Carr, we don't know, but it has been thrown out by the court. By the way, shout out AT&T for not moving off of their diversity, equity, and inclusion practices and framework there. Then we talked about Diddy, because apparently he likes applesauce on his cheeseburgers. No, I'm not joking. I'm legit not joking. Let me go back up. Let me go back up. Give me a moment. Right here. Sade Combs' ex-employees testify about his odd food demands, including applesauce on cheeseburgers. Yeah, that happened. So, with that being said, everybody, y'all wait till y'all see this story right here. Let's just go to it. Pastor John Gray, roll it. Oh, Lord. Okay, it's 12 p.m. Breakfast is over.
Pastor John Gray has once again found himself under fire.
At a recent appearance, the man who claims to shepherd souls took a moment to declare,
This woman is the only woman I've been inside of, and when I'm thirsty, I drink her.
Yeah, you heard what he said. Hang on. I'll go back. Oh my God. Okay, the tongue and everything. Let me go back a couple more times because I'm gonna let y'all hear it two more times. Okay, so here we go.
Declare,
This woman is the only woman I've been inside of, and when I'm thirsty, I drink her.
One more time.
An appearance, the man who claims to shepherd souls took a moment to declare,
This woman is the only woman I've been inside of, and when I'm thirsty, I drink her.
Fix it, Jesus. Of course, he was referring to his wife, Aventer Gray. And while he likely meant it as an expression of love, respect, or even spiritual intimacy, the result was far from holy. And we're discussing it all in today's installment of our Mega Church Messiness series. But before we jump into it, the RRG Mass Choir has something to say. My snacks are awesome. Fill me up when I'm hungry. These goodies taste so yummy. Forever they be bussin'. Now turn to your neighbor and say, neighbor, scoop me up something to munch on at rrgsnacks.com. Our online concession stand that has tons of 5-star goodies like beef and bacon jerky, sour peach rings, and butter toffee peanuts for you to enjoy while watching our videos. Ooh, honey, I love me some sour peach rings. I put them in my margarita. Now, let's get back to this hot, stinking mess, shall we? Yes, we shall. John's comments were jarring, unsettling, and above all, they were downright unnecessary. There are some truths that don't need to be said, not because they are shameful, but because they are sacred. Sex within marriage is one of them. In fact, it is so sacred, so expected, so divinely sanctioned that no one needs to hear about it for it to be understood. The Bible is clear that within the covenant of marriage, sex is not only permitted, but encouraged. Hebrews 13:4 reads, marriage should be honored by all, and the marriage bed kept pure, for God will judge the adulterer and all the sexually immoral. Hallelujah. So when a pastor publicly announces that he sleeps with his wife, he is not all...
Because why do I feel like this is the face she made when Pastor John Gray said, I drink her? Pastor John Gray like, listen, this is how I feel about my wife. And she like, motherfucker, what's wrong with you?
Offering a revelation, he is offering a performance.
Over a year ago, my wife and I were in a very difficult place in our marriage. And in that time, I began to converse with someone other than a counselor, other than a pastoral leader. And I was even in the presence of that person one time. But being in the presence of someone is not the same as sleeping with them. I did not sleep with anyone. There's no baby. There's none of that.
But why would a pastor, one who has faced years of cheating allegations, feel the need to proclaim not just his faithfulness, but the physicality of it in such graphic and almost bizarre detail? Why now? And what does it reveal about the state of his heart, his marriage, and his public image?
Child, I do not know. That's what I'm trying to find out. That's what we all here to find out. Speak on it, man.
There's a psychological pattern to behavior like this, particularly among men who have repeatedly fallen short in private and are desperate to be perceived as transformed in public. This kind of statement is not about connection. It is about control. It is the weaponization of intimacy designed to reframe the narrative. What he's really saying is, I am not a cheater. I am a devoted husband. I do not stick my dangling in other people, even though I've thought about it.
That's the you so damn.
I am no longer lustful. I am satisfied. I am not broken. I am delivered.
Wait a minute. Y'all remember Andrew Caldwell, right? I am delivered. There's a song that somebody did. I can't play it because y'all know how copyright is, but it goes, I'm not gay no more. Dun, dun, dun. I am delivered. Y'all, check out that song. I literally took that song, put it on Canva, and made a whole hour extension of it. It's that good of a remix. Go check it out after the show. Okay.
Not delivered with a hard T on the end.
But the very need to say these things aloud reveals a deeper insecurity. It's an overcorrection, not a testimony. According to clinical psychologist Dr. Durvasula, some individuals will often use performative vulnerability or exaggerated declarations to manage public perception, especially when their private behavior has contradicted their values. In other words, when a person has failed behind closed doors, they may start performing righteousness in front of an audience. And Pastor Gray has failed repeatedly. For years, rumors and confirmations of emotional affairs, inappropriate DMs, and attempts to meet women outside his marriage have circulated. So for a man who has repeatedly dishonored his vows, the public declaration that he only drinks his wife doesn't sound like spiritual intimacy. It sounds like a man trying to convince himself and the world that he is healed. But healing doesn't require microphones. It requires accountability.
Say that again one time for the people in the back, Bestie. Say it again.
There is something deeply uncomfortable about the way he spoke about his wife in that moment. Not because intimacy is bad, but because the phrasing was less about connection and more about conquest.
When I'm thirsty, I drink her, drink her, drink her, drink her, drink her.
Bestie, you so damn messy.
The I drink her imagery isn't romantic. It's consuming. It's possessive. It reduces his wife to something he owns, something he uses, and something he devours.
Oh, hungry ninja.
Contrast that with the biblical standard for how a husband should speak about and treat his wife. Ephesians 5:25 says, Husbands, love your wives, even as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her. That kind of love does not boast. It does not parade. It does not shout from pulpits for validation.
Hallelujah. Amen.
So what does it mean when a pastor chooses that moment, those words, and that stage to make such a statement? It could suggest that John is not just trying to reassure the public. He's trying to overpower the narrative. He is attempting to rewrite his past in real time. But spiritual transformation doesn't happen through spectacle. It happens through submission. From a psychological perspective, this is textbook self-repair behavior. According to a study in the Journal of Personality Disorders, individuals with histories of infidelity or image-based failure often engage in exaggerated self-disclosure or performative behavior in an attempt to reestablish control over their narrative. This is particularly true when the individual holds a position of moral authority, such as a pastor or a religious leader. The more damaging truth might be that the words were graphic because the truth behind them is still messy. And the louder someone insists they are loyal, the more the listener is invited to question why the assurance is needed in the first place.
When I'm thirsty, I drink her.
And then there's the fact that he objectified his wife while the crowd cheered with acceptance. He made her body the centerpiece of his redemption story. He offered her up, not as a partner, but as proof. And that's not love. That's exploitation. Song of Solomon, the most sultry book in the Bible, is filled with imagery of passion and desire between lovers. But even in its poetry, the focus is on mutual admiration. Song of Solomon 4:7 says, You are altogether beautiful, my darling. There is no flaw in you.
Preach, preacher.
It is adoration without consumption, desire without domination. That is intimacy. That is sacred. That is what John's statement lacked. When a man speaks of his wife only to remind the world that she is his and that he uses her to satisfy his thirst, he is not preaching the gospel. He is preaching his own needs, and needs do not sanctify, they expose. So is he cheating again? We have no idea. However, a man who is truly faithful does not need to say he is. He simply lives it. This moment wasn't about his wife and how much he adores her. It wasn't even about marriage. It was about John's image and perhaps his guilt. Because when a man says too much about something that should be sacred, he is either lying to the world or trying to convince himself of a truth he no longer feels. At some point, repentance becomes real, or it becomes performance. And the church, the public, and his own soul deserve to know which one it is. Because when a pastor starts preaching his sex life more than he preaches the gospel, the sanctuary becomes a stage, and worship becomes theater. If you enjoyed this video, let us know down below.
And thank you. I want to say thank you. Thank you for watching RG. Thank you, baby.
That's the fireworks going off behind the thing. My Lord Jesus. I wanted to bring y'all that. By the way, shout out to Real Reality, guys. One of the best YouTube channels on YouTube, really. I cannot wait till they hit 1 million subscribers because they absolutely deserve it. But I'm just like, bruh. Like, I mean, listen. I get it because I like what I like. But in liking what I like, there's also a way to talk about what you like. Like, that was public, right? You got the right to do what you want to do, but bruh, like, the Dear Future Wifey podcast, I don't know what it is about that podcast, but it makes people look like liars. And that's not good for a podcast that's supposed to be positive about marriage. Because it's just like, bruh, like, your wife is bigger than a big gulp at 7-Eleven. Like, what the hell? She's not a Slurpee. She's a human being. Just it was the vitality of it. This is the only woman I've been inside of, and when I'm inside her, I drink her. What? Y'all the tongue. I mean, you might as well just. You see this big 2 liter? You see this big 2 liter? Look at it. When I'm inside her, I drink her. See, my throat is coated with the low because the Lord gave me this throat to be able to handle anything that comes my way. You might as well just finish out the whole bit. Don't make no damn sense. Let's roll on, y'all. We got more. Right on these virtual tour live coming up right with this space right here, right now. From The Verge.com, Valve CEO Gabe Newell's Neuralink competitor is expected its first brain chip this year. The stealthy startup thinks multiple stimulus smaller brain implants could be better than one. Okay, by the way, that is a fake picture. Okay, so the picture that you see on your when you click this channel, this is the thumbnail you see. This is fake. Okay, even says right here, Valve CEO Gabe Newell pretends to get a hole drilled into his head for a brain-computer interface. Okay, so that is fake. Okay, it's the fact that you're looking at the camera while you're not looking at this person, making sure that he doesn't, end your life. But okay, just saying. Valve co-founder and CEO Gabe Newell, the company behind Half-Life and Dota 2 and Counter-Strike and preeminent PC game distribution platform Stream, has long toyed with the idea that your brain should be more connected to your PC. It began over a decade ago with in-house psychologists studying people's biological responses to video games. Valve once considered earlobe monitors for its first VR virtual reality headset. The company publicly explored the idea of brain-computer interfaces for gaming at GDC 2019. Newell decided to spin off the idea. That same year, he quietly incorporated a new brain-computer interface startup, Starfish Neuroscience, which has now revealed plans to produce its first brain chip later this year. Starfish's first blog post, spotted by Valve watcher Brad Lynch, makes it clear we're not talking about a complete implant yet. This bit is the custom electrical electrical psychology chip designed to record brain activity, like how Neuralink can read your mind, so patients can interact with computers and stimulate the brain for disease therapy. But Starfish isn't claiming it's already built systems to power it or the bits to stick it inside a person's head. We anticipate our first ships arriving in late 2025. We are interested in finding collaborators for whom such a chip would open new and exciting ventures, writes Starfish neuroengineer Nate Cernak, holding theirs, suggesting that Starfish might wind up partnering with other companies for wireless power or even the final brain implant. But the goal, writes Starfish, is a smaller, less invasive plant than the competition, one that can enable simultaneous access to multiple brain regions instead of just one site, and one that doesn't require a battery. Using 1.1 milliwatts during normal recording, Starfish says it can work with wireless power transmission instead. Here's the chip's current spec sheet. Low power, 1.1 megawatt total power consumption during normal recording. Physically small, 2 by 4 millimeter, 0.3 millimeter pitch VGA, capable of an LFP stimulation, biophasic pulses, 32 electrode sites, 16 simultaneous recording channels at 18.75 gigahertz. One current source will stimulate on arbitrary pairs of electrodes, onboard impedance monitoring, and stem voltage imminent measurement, onboard digital onboard data processing, and spike detection allows the device to vibrate via low bandwidth wireless interfaces fabricated in TSMC 55 nanometer process. Neuralink N1, for comparison, has 1,024 electrodes across its 64 brain implanted threads, a chip that's consumed around 6 megawatts as of 2019, a battery that periodically needs wireless charging. The full implant, again, not just a chip, is around 23 millimeters wide and 8 millimeters thick. The Elon Musk-led company, of course, Elon Musk will be a part of this, has reportedly already implanted 3 humans. On some of the threads did detach from the first patient's brain. He still has functionality and has been given an interview. Starfish says it could be important to connect multiple parts of the brain simultaneously instead of one region to address issues like Parkinson's disease. There is increasing evidence that a number of neurological disorders involve circuit level dysfunction in which interactions between brain regions may be dysregulated. Centric writes, in addition to multiple simultaneous brain implants, the company's updated website says it's working on a precision hypothermia device to destroy tumors with target heat and a brain reading robotically guided transcranial magnetic solution TMS system for addressing neurological conditions like bipolar disorder and depression. Rather, in case you're wondering how any of this might make its way back to gaming, I'll leave you with Val's talk from GDC 2019 about brain-computer interfaces. So listen, I know that, brain implants are real and stuff, but do we actually need it though? Because they're for example, water and technology don't mix, right? They just don't mix. They fry your computer system, they fry your cell phone, they fry your TV, all that stuff. I feel like it's the same thing. I don't think chips are supposed to go inside brains. Far be it for me to give it a thing. I just don't see it. I mean, think about it. If you go to a water park, right, and you're drowning, right, the water gets into your lungs, it gets into your head, and then you could die from water. So you need water to live, but the thing that you need to live can also make you die. So I'm like, okay, child, whatever. And speaking of things that don't make any sense, look at this. Y'all come look at this. Y'all come look at this. Y'all come look at this right here, okay? Target's problems are escalating, okay? This comes just from CNN in Business. Target was already facing a very public revolt from some of its most loyal customers. Now it's warning about tariffs. The company said Wednesday that sales fell last quarter, driven in part by consumer backlash to Target's reversal of diversity, equity, inclusion programs. Target is also cutting its guidance as President Ford said its tariffs push up costs for the company. Target's sales at stores open. There we go. God, okay, there we go. Cuts guys as President 47's tariffs push up costs for the company. Target sales at stores open for at least 1 year tumbled 3.8% last quarter. Fewer customers visit Target and spend less when they shop. Target's also cut its financial outlook, a sign Target's problems won't go away quickly. The company expects sales to decline by low single digits this year. The company announced that it established a multi-year enterprise acceleration office to speed up growth plans and reshuffled its executive team. We faced several additional headwinds this quarter, including 5 consecutive months of decline, consumer confidence, uncertainty regarding the impact of potential tariffs, and the reaction to updates we shared on BI in January. CEO Brian Cornell said on a call with analysts Wednesday, and also too, Brian Cornell's CEO salary was cut. Yeah, Target's going through it. Cornell warned of massive potential costs from tariffs, but said the retailer could offset them by diversifying suppliers, adjusting products, and hiking prices if necessary. We have many levers to use to mitigate the impacts of tariffs, and price is the very last resort, he said. Target stock dropped 7% during pre-market trade Wednesday. Target stock has declined 37% over the past year. Cornell acknowledged in a recent email to staff that it has been a tough few months between the retail economy, headlines, social media conversations that may have left wondering. The Minnesota Star Tribune reported Target confirmed the email to CNN. Cornell said Target's culture and commitment to staff has not changed. I recognize that silence from us has created uncertainty, so I want to be very clear. We are still the Target you know and believe in, Cornell said. DEI rollback. Boycotts over Target's DEI reversal hurt Target's business. On January 24th, days into 47's presidency, Target announced it was eliminating hiring goals for minority employees and an executive committee focused on racial justice and making other changes to its diversity initiatives. Target said it had a new strategy called Belonging at the Bullseye. The company remained committed to create a sense of belonging for our team, guests, and communities. Target also stressed the need for staying in step with the evolving external landscape. But the decision angered supports of diversity and inclusion policies who felt blindsided by Target. Target has been a champion of diversity initiatives and LGBTQ rights. Customers online have protested Target's decision, and Annie and Lucy Dayton, the daughters of one Target co-founder, called the company's actions a betrayal. We covered that on Virtual Tour Live here. Target faced a 40-day consumer boycott during Lent led by Reverend Jamal Bryant, prominent Atlanta area megachurch pastor, over its DEI rollback. Protesters picketed outside Target headquarters in Minneapolis, and other black leaders such as Reverend Al Sharp did support boycott efforts. Target came under more pressure than other companies that had rolled back its DEI policies, because Target had gone further in its DEI efforts, and it has a more progressive base of customers than those competitors. On CNN on Wednesday evening, Brian said that though Target was the first business target, it wouldn't be the last. He said he's aware of 170 companies that have rolled back DEI initiatives. Another company is going to be coming on the radar in the next couple of weeks. He said Target was a leading advocate for DEI programs in the business world in the years after George Floyd was unalived by police in the company's home city of Minneapolis in 2020. Target also spent years building a reputation as a progressive reporter on LGBTQ issues. Tariffs and a consumer slowdown put even more pressure on Target. The chain stocks more non-essential merchandise compared to competitors such as Walmart and Costco. Costco has not moved away from DEI. Walmart has. More than half of Target's merchandise is discretionary and is at risk of as consumers rein in spending. Around 50% of Target's products are also imported from overseas, including an estimated 25% from China, leaving Target in a challenging position. Stephen Shemesh, an analyst at RBC Capital Markets, said on Wednesday, tariffs may force Target to either absorb added costs, hurting its profit, or raise prices on consumers. Home Depot said Tuesday that it plans to keep most of its prices stable despite 47's tariffs driving costs up. But did the president of the Home Depot contribute to 47's campaign? Oh yeah, he did do that. My bad. But tariffs may cause Home Depot to increase its prices on select items and laying certain product lines entirely. Walmart said last week 47's tariffs are too high. It will raise prices on some items, prompting an angry response from 47. Walmart should try to stop blaming the tariffs. That's the reason for raising prices throughout the chain. 47 said over the weekend between Walmart and China, as they should, as is said, eat the tariffs and not charge value customers anything. I'll be watching, so will your customers. So yeah, Walmart got an angry message from 47 on tariffs. The Home Depot and Target downplayed them. Right here, America's highest profile retail chains are walking a difficult tightrope, trying to blunt the financial hit from tariffs by raising prices for consumers without angering them on President 47. Walmart, Target, Home Depot are recent examples of how companies are struggling to navigate raising prices because of 47's tariffs. Company said trade levies will increase the cost. Corporate America has learned to speak a new language, one that informs shareholders and customers about the effects of tariffs while avoiding reaction from 47 on social media or a threat from him or his administration to punish or investigate a company. The three big box chains will all take a hit from the global trade war. Around 40% of Walmart's merchandise is imported, but roughly half of Target's Home Depot products come from overseas. The chains are all likely to change suppliers, absorb higher costs, raise prices, or cut products to handle tariffs. But the similarities in there, despite using a similar toolbox to minimize the impact, each company has communicated about the impact of tariffs in different ways in recent quarterly earnings calls. So I just wanted to bring this in right here. Okay, that was my phone. I wanted to bring this up because it's so interesting to me, right? That everybody was saying, oh, we won 47. He's going to do this, that, and the third. And now you have Walmart, Target, and Home Depot scrambling to try to figure out how to stop the bleeding. But like Walmart, like y'all supported him, right? Target, y'all supported him. Home Depot, y'all supported him. So it's like, what did you expect, right? Like, really? Like, the shoe industry may not be around. The shoe industry asked the president to stop with these tariffs. Mr. Beast can't do chocolate like he wants to for his Feastables. This is affecting everything, including the new Nintendo Switch 2. But yeah, everybody else voted for the dumb fuck. Okay. So I just wanted to bring this up just to let you guys know, like, there are bigger things happening in the world. Okay, so just, oh my Lord. And then we already talked about how Apple might get 25% of tariffs upon them if they don't create iPhones in the United States. So a lot going on there. So yeah, speaking of things going on, I want you to look at this from the Associated Press, okay? This is real. Hang on, that's it. Regulates itself out here. There we go, okay. See a penny pick it up in the future, probably not as often. Some say that matters. From New York, ask someone for their thoughts. Could now cost you a nickel, because you know how they say a penny for your thoughts. If you want to call somebody stingy, would you say they're a quarter pincher? And if they spend money unwisely, are they now a diamond wise but a pound foolish? Okay, maybe those are some minor small stakes. Dare we say penny anti-concerns in the wake of the U.S. Treasury confirming Thursday that it will stop making new shiny new pennies after the current production of the run is complete. Yeah, no joke. The U.S. Mint moves forward with plans to kill the penny. The U.S. Mint has made its final order of penny blanks plans to stop producing the coin when they run out. A U.S. A Treasury Department official confirmed Thursday. This move comes at the cost of making pennies has increased markedly by upward 20% in 2024, according to the Treasury. By stopping the pennies production, the Treasury expects an immediate annual savings of $56 million in reduced material costs, according to the official who was not authorized to discuss the matter publicly, invoked on condition of anonymity to preview the news. In February, President 47 announced that he had ordered his administration to cease production of the 1 cent coin. Regarding to the law, the United States has minted pennies, which literally cost us more than 2 cents. This is so wasteful, 47 wrote at that time in a post on his Truth Social site. I've instructed my Secretary of the United States Treasury to stop producing new pennies. There are about 114 billion pennies currently in circulation in the United States. That is $1.14 billion, but they are greatly underutilized. Treasury says the penny was one of the first coins made by the U.S. Mint after its establishment in 1792. Yeah. Pennies are the most popular coin made by the U.S. Mint, which reported making 3.2 billion of them last year. That's more than half of all new coins it made last year. So 2 bipartisan bills to kill the penny were permanently introduced this year. Senator Mike Lee, Republican of Utah, and Jeffrey Merkley, Democrat from Oregon, introduced the Make Sense Not Sense Act this month in April. Reps Lisa McClain, Republican from Michigan, Robert Garcia, Democrat from California, along with Senator Cynthia Lummis, Republican from Wyoming, and Kristen Gillibrand, Democrat in New York, introduced the Common Sense Act. Jay Zagarsky, professor of markets, public policy, and law at Boston University, said while he supports to end penny production, Congress must include language in any proposed legislation required to round up in pricing, which will eliminate the demand for pennies. And Zagarsky, who recently published a book called The Power of Cash, Why Using Paper Money is Good for U.S. Society, says otherwise simply ditching the penny will only increase demand for nickels, which are even more expensive at 14 cents to produce. So this is what the president is up to, right? I mean, Lord, this is ridiculous. Right here, since 1793, we have continuously seeded the archaeological record with datable pennies, and now we're going to stop doing that, laments Frank Hall, emeritus professor at the University of Houston, who has studied the history of coins in his work. In 2,000 years, there are going to be archaeologists pulling out what hair they have left, saying, "What am I going to do now that I don't have these datable objects there?" Ever something that's with such small face value, the copper colored coin has punched above its denomination in the culture, Holt says. Okay. Hey, everybody. Sorry about that. Sorry about that, y'all. StreamYard, and of course. So let me get back to what we were on. So right here, like I was saying here, since 1973, we have continuously seeded the archaeological record with datable pennies, and now we're going to stop doing that, laments Frank Holt, an emeritus professor at the University of Houston, who has studied the history of coins in his work. In 2,000 years, there are going to be archaeologists pulling out what hair they have left, saying, "What am I going to do now that I don't have these datable objects there?" And for something with such a small face value, the copper colored coin has punched it above its denomination of culture. It's not just, Holt says, it's not just an economic argument, because pennies and all coins are embedded in our culture. They reflect our politics, our religion, our art, our sense of ourselves, our ideals, our aspirations. He says we put models on them, self-identifiers, and we decide in the case of the United States which dead persons are most important to us and should be commemorated. So while there are actual, factual, smactual issues going on in the United States of America, the president wants to get rid of the penny. Like I said to y'all before here, the U.S. moves forward with plans to kill the penny. So in February, President 487 had ordered his administration to cease production of the 1 cent coin. For far too long, the United States has been pennies, which has cost us literally more than 2 cents. It's so wasteful. 487 wrote at that time in a post on his Truth Social site, I have instructed my Secretary of the United States Treasury to stop producing pennies. There are about 114 billion pennies currently in circulation in the United States. That's 1.14 billion, but they are greatly underutilized. Treasury says the penny was one of the first coins made by the U.S. Mint after its establishment in 1972. The nation's Treasury Secretary has the authority to issue coins in amounts the Secretary decides are necessary to meet the demands of the United States. Advocates for addition, the penny cite its high production costs, almost 4 cents per penny now, according to the U.S. Mint, and limited utility fans. The penny cite its usefulness and charity drives a relatively bargain in production costs compared with the nickel, which is almost 14 cents to mint. Pennies are the most popular coin made by the U.S. Mint, which reported making 3.2 billion of them last year. That's more than half of all the new coins it made last year. So there was 2 new bipartisan bills. Senators, the Republican of Utah, and Jeffrey Merkley, Democrat of Oregon, introduced the Make Sense Not Sense Act this month in April. Representatives Lisa McClain, Republican of Michigan, Robert Garcia, Democrat of California, along with Senator Cynthia Loomis, Republican from Wyoming, Mr. Gerald Grant, Democrat, introduced the Common Sense Act. Jay Zdarsky, professor of markets, public policy, and law at Boston University, said that while he supports the move to end penny production, Congress must include language in any proposed legislation to require rounding up, which will eliminate the demand for pennies. Zdarsky, who recently published a book called The Power of Cash, Why Using Paper Money is Good for Your Society, says otherwise simply ditching the penny will only increase the demand for nickels, which are even more expensive at 14 cents to produce. So while people are losing their Medicaid, their SSI, their SSDI, their Section 8 housing, their food stamps, their WIC, and not to mention too, opportunities like the Fearless Fund, which was shut down by a racist, bigoted Republican foundation. While we're losing opportunities out here, the president is concerned about the penny. There are homeless veterans out here. There are women, children, men getting DV'd and raped and everything in between. But he's upset about the penny. But hold on, in the words of what's that guy's name? Lee Corso. Not so fast, my friends, ladies and gentlemen, because the White House is getting rid of transcripts of 47's remarks from its website. No joke, the White House told U.S. News it decided to only post videos. There's still one transcript remaining online, however, 47's inaugural address. The White House has removed official transcripts from President 47's public remarks from its government website, replacing them with selected videos of his public appearances. As recently as Sunday, transcripts of 47's speeches and comments were still showing up in the remarks section of whitehouse.gov. The next day, they were gone. Snapshots of the site from the Internet Archive show the only transcript appearing now is 47's inaugural address of January 20th. Government photographers are still recording transcribing 47's remarks, the White House official says, but an internal policy change in recent days. The White House took down transcripts in favor of audio and video of his appearances. The idea behind the move is that people will get a fuller, more accurate sense of 47 by watching and listening to him as opposed to reading a transcript, which they may not be inclined to do anyway, the official said. Purging the transcripts and switching to audio and video of 47's remarks was intended to create consistency across the website. The official said, in an effort to maintain consistency, previous transcripts that were available have been removed and replaced with the audio visual components of that transcript. The official says, speaking on the condition of anonymity, the White House continues to work to upload the multitude of public engagements that the president has done and will continue to make sure that the website consists of full and complete registration complete representation rather of the president's public comments. And same White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said the president's remarks are live on the website for every person in the world, including journalists, to access and watch for themselves. The 47th White House is the most transparent in history. Bullshit! A bullshit! Meanwhile, Vice President J.D. Vance's office continues to make public transcripts of his remarks, sending them out to the media. Since last month, Vance's office has shared 8 transcripts of reports, including his comments at a meeting with Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni, a speech he gave about U.S. manufacturing, and another one that involved the war between Russia and Ukraine. Asked why Vance is putting out official transcript while 47 is not, Vance's office declined to comment. Historians and former White House officials denounced the move to do away with public transcripts that have long served as the definitive record of what the president says in public. Dominic Dansky, who was the White House director of stenography during 47's first term and part of Joe Biden's, said foreign embassies rely on transcripts to translate the president's remarks for their own countries. I've oftentimes received requests from other embassies looking for presidential transcripts so that they can be translated and read by their own citizens and government officials, Dansky told NBC News. She added that the transcripts are an efficient way to learn exactly what the president said as opposed to standing through an entire video. While the video audio of statements and remarks are obviously helpful and needed, the transcripts are a more expeditious way to find quotes rather than having to scroll through the entire video and have to replay the clip to hear what was said. Barbara Perry, co-chair of the Presidential Oral History Program at the University of Virginia's Miller Center, said, I hope he and his communications team see the light on this. It's not only good for history, which they may not care about, but they do care about how he's viewed by history. And second, they should also realize that his very communication style and substance that won him the presidency twice. Well, transcript also provides some protection for 47 if he feels misquoted or misunderstood. He can point to the document to sell the issue, although the White House has not published transcripts of all 47's remarks. Transcripts coming out the White House at times become points of contention. Days before the 2024 election, Biden made a comment that seemed to disparage 47 voters. A comedian speaking at a 47 rally referred to Puerto Rico as a floating island of garbage. Speaking to a Latino audience, Biden said, the only garbage I see flowing out there is his supporters. That comment had the potential to alienate millions of voters on the eve of the election and potentially harm Democratic nominee Kamala Harris' chances. The Biden press office, however, altered the stenographer's transcript, instead released a document that changed the meaning of his remarks at apostrophe so that the quote read supporters, an apparent reference to a comedian who had made the remark on Associated Press. President Obama once mistakenly used the word AB in an interview when he meant to say aberration. Said Beck Dorsey Stein, who was a White House stenographer during his presidency in the first couple of months of 47's last term. Obama flagged Obama's bit of misspeak, but the transcript was allowed to stand, Dorsey Stein said. And another transcript kerfuffle in 2007, President George W. Bush talked about how children do learn when standards are high and results are measured. The official transcript, however, changed the word children. The White House insisted it had not asked for the edit. It had changed back to Bush's actual words. Withholding transcript seems really irresponsible and self-fulfilling room story, Dory Stein said. With a transcript, he can say, this is exactly what I said. How many times in the press briefing room would someone say President Obama said this? The press secretary would say no, he didn't check the transcript. Now there's no way for anyone to check the transcript, she added. Others question the rationale the White House official put forward. The real motivation may be that 47's frequent digressions, which he called the weave, come off as gibberish, and Renform critics said. Perhaps the White House did not want the weave exposed, said Mike McCurry, a press secretary in Bill Clinton's White House. The last presidential event that the White House transcribed and made public happened more than 2 months ago, an Oval Office meeting with NATO Secretary Mark Rutte. Though some videos of 47's appearances are available on the White House website, many are not. The site shows 10 videos in April, including events with Ohio State University football team, Los Angeles Dodgers baseball team, the Philadelphia Eagles football team, and the Italian and Norwegian Prime Ministers. Not shown are videos from more than 24 events 47 participated last month. Among them is an Oval Office meeting on April 14th with El Salvador President Nayib Bukele, who accepted immigrants to port for the United States and put them in a maximum security prison. When the meeting 47 said he wanted Bukele to take in as many criminals as possible. There are also missing are videos of 47's various interactions with media. There is no record, for example, for Q&A with Forbes on April 17th covering issues involving a school powering at Florida State University. The power didn't do the shooting, the people do, he said. And Harvard University tax exemption status. I think Harvard is a disgrace. They're obviously anti-Semitic. Charming. Very, very charming. This is coming from somebody that wanted the Central Park, 5 to be unalive for a crime that they did not commit. You would be a racist, sir. You would be a sexist, sir. And not to mention, too, you support Elon Musk, who did a Yahtzee hand gesture at your inauguration. So you're anti-Semitic as well. Don't you have Jewish grandchildren? Child, let's roll on. This month, the White House website has posted 11 of 47's appearances. That accounts for less than half of the Q&A sessions with the media. Other events 47 has participated in so far. The left-out events include a meeting with Canada's new Prime Minister, Mark Carney, who bad down 47's interest in making Canada the 51st state. Canada won't be for sale. After Carney said, past White Houses routinely publicized the official transcripts of the president's remarks. Indeed, in the first 4 months of 47's first term, the White House has posted more than 100 transcripts of his remarks. By contrast, in 47's new term, his White House posted only 30 before they disappeared. Dory Stein said that in her brief stint at the start of 47's first term, the new president's aides were at the stenographer corps. A former press officer said the stenographers were positioning their microphones too close to 47's face, that he did not like it, Dory Stein recalled. At the time, there was an overwhelming feeling of distrust. She said in an interview, they really felt we were extension of the press rather than safeguard. So as the president is trying to get rid of the penny, the White House is getting rid of his transcripts, so that way he won't have to ever be held accountable. Y'all focus is way off. Finally, y'all, let's end it on a good note here. MomoCon celebrates its 20th year in Atlanta with record-breaking attendance. Tens of thousands of people are packed into downtown Atlanta this weekend to enjoy one of the Southeast's largest fan conventions. MomoCon turns 20 this year. It's bigger than ever. More than 60,000 people are expected to visit the Georgia World Congress Center, a record for the event. The convention had humble begins as a student-run gathering at Georgia Tech in 2005, but since then it has exploded into a massive celebration for pop culture, from panels, performances, to gaming tournaments, and art showcases. Fans says it's a sense of community that keeps them coming back every year. The convention doesn't attract fans. It also draws massive dollars and more to the Atlanta Convention and Visitors Bureau. MomoCon has an estimated local economic impact more than $42 million. $42 million. MomoCon started on Thursday and runs until Sunday. So here we go there. By the way, those are shirts from Lilo and Stitch, and that is the new How to Train Your Dragon there. So let's watch this. Chad, I cannot.
Discover a world of savings with a AAA membership. We're more than just emergency roadside assistance. AAA members save an average of $200 per year through exclusive discounts on tickets, shopping, dining, hotels, and more. From popular attractions to...
Downtown Atlanta will be quite literally full of characters this weekend. It's a milestone year for MomoCon. Our Blake Devine spent the morning at the Georgia World Congress Center with tens of thousands of anime fans.
MomoCon has turned 20 this year, and it is bigger than ever before. More than 60,000 people expected to turn out here in the Georgia World Congress Center this weekend. This all started back in 2005 as a student-run gathering at Georgia Tech, as it's now exploded into a massive celebration of pop culture, from panels, performances, game tournaments, and artist showcases. This 4-day event brings together fans of all ages and interests. And while it's known for some crazy costumes and big-name guests, it's the sense of community that keeps people coming back each and every year.
I will admit that I never imagined when we started at Georgia Tech, from my first year as attendee, and then as my first year as a volunteer, how much we've grown. To see numbers like this for a very localized Atlanta homegrown convention is magical.
Back out here with another look at MomoCon, which runs through people coming from big name entrants performance. Now it's 2005. Turn out here in the Georgia.
Like this for a very localized Atlanta homegrown convention is magical.
Back out here with another look at MomoCon, which runs through Sunday and is expected to generate $42 million to the local economy. Reporting in the Georgia World Congress Center, Blake Devine, Atlanta News Firm.
Thank you so much, my man. And here is MomoCon, your all ages geek culture convention in Atlanta, Georgia. So it happened from May 22nd to 2025 there. MomoCon brings together fans of Japanese anime, American animation, comics, video games, tabletop games to celebrate their passion for costume and cosplay. Browsing the huge exhibitors hall, meeting celebrity voice talent, designers, and writers behind their favorite shows, games, and comics, and much more over this 4-day event. By the way, DreamCon is happening May 31st to, let me see, DreamCon. Just want to make sure I get the dates up there for you all. So May 30th to June 1st. So that's happening in Houston, Texas. So you still have time to get your tickets. Okay. All right. And finally, everybody, your positive news story for the day. George Floyd honored with festival and vigils in Minneapolis and Houston on the 5th anniversary of his unaliving by police. Right here in Minneapolis, commemorative events reportedly began Friday, continued through Sunday, May 25th, the actual anniversary of Floyd's passing. The weekend reportedly included concerts, a street festival, a self-care fair, a worship service, gospel performances, and a candlelight visual. Meanwhile, in Houston, loved ones and supporters gathered at Floyd's grave site for a memorial service led by Reverend Al Sharpton. The tribute included 5 hours of music, sermons, poetry readings, and a symbolic balloon release. There, that's from the Jazz brand there. And congratulations to everybody in Minneapolis and Houston for making that happen. Y'all, I'm gonna turn my camera now because we've done the whole show for over an hour. Yes, we have. Man, what a show today. Get all that in. To recap the show for you, Epic Universe, I think it's a success. I mean, like I said, it's gonna take some time for everybody to really take in Epic Universe, you know what I mean? But yeah, this summer it's Universal's for the taking. The FCC saying that, you know, Brendan Carr has no right to do these investigations. Hopefully that will stop the investigations. And I believe if that happens, then maybe all these other companies can stop with their pussy popping of DEI, right? Then, of course, Diddy like an applesauce on cheeseburger. Sir, we just don't need to know some things. John Gray, be about your wife's business in private, okay? Because nobody wants to hear it publicly, okay? If you did privately, people would celebrate it publicly if you were about your business privately, all right? The brain chip thing, that's crazy as hell. I don't think it's going to happen. The retail industry is going through it with these tariffs, but also, too, not paying people their worth. Pay your workers right. You'll have customers. Customers will not go to a place if they don't see the employees treated right. Getting rid of the penny is stupid, especially when the nickel is 14 cents more expensive to make. MomoCon as well. Shout out to that. And the president and the White House trying to get rid of the president. And we didn't have time for this story, unfortunately. I thought I had it up here with PCH. Damn shame. Let me see. I may not be able to do it, y'all. I thought I had that story in here because I tried to get that done very, very quickly. But yeah. This is the first time that I'm not gonna be able to do it, y'all. Damn it. Damn you. Okay, here it is here. Hang on, y'all. I'll try to read it very quickly here. So Publishers Clearinghouse is now sending 281,000 plus consumer refunds worth $18.5 million after FTC fined sweepstakes company Target with vulnerable Americans with deceptive practices, right? So the FTC complaint against Publishers Clearinghouse alleges that the company was targeting lower income and older consumers and misleading them into believing that they can't enter their sweepstakes without purchasing a product, or that interest could increase their chances of winning by buying these products. What's more, the FTC complaint also noted that PCH added shipping and handling fees that were deceptive and misrepresented that ordering was risk-free, even though consumers wanted refunds, had to return products of their own. Also, consumers entitled to the payout are those who click these deceptive emails to purchase a product from the company. While there's no clear timeline when checks arrive, the FTC encourages customers to cash them within 90 days. So just wanted you guys to know about that as well. So PCH will send a grand total of $18.5 million to 281,724 recipients as a part refund to customers. So that is your show, everybody. One love, much love, all love to you. I will see you back here tonight for Roa. Bye, everybody. Oh, by the way, I feel the love, and I'll send it right back to you. Bye, everybody.
Good evening. My name is Mark Woodbury. I'm the chairman and CEO of Universal Destinations and Experiences. Well, we're finally here. Tomorrow we begin a new chapter at Universal Orlando Resort as we open Epic Universe. We built this place for you. I want to thank you, our fans, for your love of our stories, characters, and immersive experiences that inspired this incredible place. Epic Universe represents over 8 years of meticulous planning, immense creativity, and innovation, combined with unmatched craftsmanship and operational excellence on the part of thousands of people who have brought to life the stories and characters that live beyond each of Epic's portals. But it represents so much more. Your love of Universal and the deep connections we've shared together here in Orlando over the past 30 years inspired us to dream bigger and to push the boundaries to create something extraordinary for you and for generations of fans and families to come. And tomorrow, as we open Epic Universe, I can't wait for you to experience this place for yourself. Now it's your turn to step inside, to lose yourself, and to share this place with the ones you love most. As we open this park, we hope your world becomes a little more epic. Tomorrow, Epic Universe becomes yours.
Prepare for a journey beyond imagination, beyond belief, beyond anything you've experienced before. Universal Epic Universe, a new theme park where you'll step through extraordinary portals to 5 immersive worlds. Prepare for a cosmic voyage of discovery, an isle of fire-breathing excitement, a shadowy world of monsters and mystery, new wonders in the wizarding world, and a new way to play. Plus the splendor of a magnificent resort hotel overlooking the park. It's all new excitement at Universal Orlando Resort. A week's worth of vacation thrills with 4 amazing theme parks, a variety of spectacular themed hotels, and incredible dining and entertainment. It's all at Universal Orlando Resort, where you'll find new adventures every day. Explore the astonishing worlds of Universal Epic Universe at Universal Orlando Resort.